All right, today we're going to talk about a skill that can literally transform every single relationship in your life. How to truly understand what people are feeling, not just what they're telling you. Let's dive in. So, let me ask you a question, and be honest. How good are you really at reading people? I mean, most of us think we're pretty decent at it, right? You see a smile, you think happy. You see a frown, you think sad. But come on, is it ever really that simple? Well, if you ask the researchers, the answer is probably not as good as we think we are. And this quote from Psychology Today just hits the nail on the head. We are so enthusiastic about figuring each other out, but the truth is, we get it wrong a lot. And those little misunderstandings, they add up. They can turn into pretty big problems: conflict, distance, and just missed connections. So why are we so bad at this? It comes down to something called the great empathy illusion. Let's break down the common traps that, let's face it, we all fall into. Okay, so picture this. Any conversation you have is basically an iceberg. The actual words people are saying, that's just the tiny little tip you can see sticking out of the water. Everything else, the real meaning, the tone, the body language, what they're actually feeling, that's the massive hidden part of the iceberg, deep beneath the surface. And here's the crazy part. The mistakes we make are super predictable. We see a smile and just assume it means happiness, when it could be masking something completely different. We do this thing where we project our own feelings onto somebody else. We jump to conclusions way too fast. And maybe the biggest mistake of all, we just completely ignore the context of what's going on around them. Okay, so how do we get better at this? How do we start seeing what's really going on under the surface? Well, it all starts with learning to decode that unspoken language, the signals people send with their bodies and their voices. And a great place to start is the face. Researchers have actually found 7 microexpressions that are the same across every single human culture. It's wild. These are tiny, split-second flashes of emotion that are basically impossible to fake. For example, genuine joy isn't just in the smile, it's in the eyes. You get those crow's feet. Or contempt. That can show up as just a subtle, one-sided smirk. But it's not just about the face, A person's whole body tells a story. Look at their posture. Are their shoulders all tensed up and raised? That could be a huge sign of stress, even if they sound perfectly calm. Are they fidgeting? That might be nervousness. Heck, even something as simple as a handshake can tell you a ton about their confidence level. And we've all heard this a million times, right? It's not what you said, it's how you said it. And it is so, so true. The tone, the pitch, how fast someone's talking. That's where the real information is. I mean, think about the phrase, "I'm fine." It can mean a dozen different things, can it? The words are identical, but the feeling, that emotional music behind them, is completely different every time. Okay, but here's the thing. Being a great observer, picking up on all those nonverbal cues, that's only half the battle. The other half, and you could argue it's the most important part, is learning how to truly listen. And I don't just mean passively hearing words while you wait for your turn to talk. I'm talking about active listening, and it is a real skill. First, give them your full attention. Yeah, that means put the phone away. Second, just listen. No judging, no planning your brilliant response. And third, reflect back what you think you heard, saying something like, "So it sounds like your feeling is a game changer." And finally, ask open-ended questions that invite them to tell you more. And that right there is the whole point. Active listening is all about swapping your assumptions for actual curiosity. So instead of just jumping to a conclusion, you ask a simple open question like, "How are you feeling about this?" These questions are like opening a door. They create a safe space for someone to share what's really going on instead of you just guessing and probably getting it wrong. Now, when you put these two things together, that careful observation and active listening, something really powerful starts to happen. You stop building these walls of misunderstanding and you start building bridges of connection. It's a total mindset shift. And this is a really important change in perspective. Your job isn't to fix someone's feelings or tell them how they should feel. It's just to understand what their emotions are signaling. Is their anger a signal that a boundary's been crossed? Is their sadness a signal they need support? Think of emotions as data. They're just information. And to interpret that data correctly, we need empathy, not sympathy. And trust me, there is a huge difference. Sympathy is feeling sorry for someone. It's kind of looking down from above, and it often creates more distance. Empathy, that's feeling with them. It's like climbing down into the hole with them for a minute just to understand what it's like. That's what builds real connection. And get this, empathy actually breaks down into two types. First, there's affective empathy. That's when you literally feel what they're feeling, like it's contagious. Their joy makes you smile, their anxiety makes your stomach clench. Then there is cognitive empathy, which is more about understanding their perspective in your head, seeing the world through their eyes, even if you don't feel the exact same way. To truly connect, you really need a balance of both. So what does this look like in real life? It means making a few conscious shifts in your thinking. It means going into a conversation and trying to leave your assumptions at the door. It means being honest with yourself about your own biases. It means always, always remembering that context is everything. And maybe most importantly, it means having the patience to just let someone have their feeling without rushing in to fix it. So let's bring all this together. What are the practical tools you can start using right now? Let's call it your empathy toolkit. It really boils down to 4 key actions. Number 1, decode the unspoken. Look beyond the words to the body language and the tone. 2, practice active listening. Give your full attention, reflect back, and ask good questions. 3, aim for empathy, not sympathy. Connect with their feeling, don't just feel sorry for them. And 4, always check your own biases. Ask yourself, am I reacting to the facts here or just my own assumptions? Because in the end, understanding other people isn't just a skill, it's a choice. It's the choice to be curious instead of certain, to be patient instead of rushing to judgment, and to choose connection over assumption. So the only question left is this: whose world will you try to truly see today?